Is right here. But this is a pretty mobile clamp caddy. The caddy consists, it's nothing more than a plywood box, really. The plywood box is sized to hold most of the clamps that we have here around the academy. This will actually literally hold hundreds and hundreds of clamps. The reason that I like to bring all these clamps together in one location is because I don't care how well you have planned a glue up, usually something goes wrong at the last moment and you need that one clamp that is all the way across the academy just to close that little gap. This puts them all in one place where you can reach them easily. It also puts them in one place when you're doing a dry glue up. It's just convenient. And for some reason, when you mass your tools like this and organize them, the shop grounds don't take them as often. Go figure. This caddy, as I said, is a box, and behind the box there is a metal rack made out of plumber's pipe, and in the front there are some shelves made out of 2x4s. I actually designed this caddy so that as it's shown on the plans, you can make it from a single sheet of plywood and two 8-foot 2x4s. The rack on the back has several crossbars made out of wood so that you can hang C-clamps. I've got some deep throat clamps here, some spring clamps, and other clamps that actually will close a circle. You can hang there. In the box itself, I have a grid. Actually, I have two grids. There's one at the very bottom of the box, and there's one right here at the top. And these will hold both our single bar and our double bar clamps. These grids are removable. They're not glued in. They come out very easily, so that over the years, as this thing fills more and more with sawdust, and it will, we'll be able to take the grids out, vacuum out the sawdust, and put the grids back in. At the front here, I have some 2x4s in which I've cut some grooves and made these little shelves. These shelves will hold hand screw clamps, and as you can see, I've organized the clamps from the biggest up to the smallest. In the tops of the shelving units, I've put two dowels and have put some of these corner squares, stacked them on the dowels. I'm gonna show you these, bring this up close and show you these corner squares, because these are really handy. If you haven't made yourself a a dozen of these, you really ought to. When you next have a sheet of plywood you can afford to cut off. This actually is made out of particle board with some melamine, but it's nothing more than a 90-degree triangle. Drew and I very carefully set this up so that we would cut exactly a 90-degree angle here. Drilled some 1 1/4 inch diameter holes. These holes are to accommodate clamps. You simply clamp this corner square to the work as you glue it up. We used it to make sure that the box was square when we glued that together, and then later on, when we got to making the drawers, and there are some cool drawers in here. Let me show you. There we go. Underneath the box is space for some totes. These totes hold all the clamping stuff that won't store on the racks and the shelves and the grid that you've built. I've got a band clamp in here, and here's a clamp that I almost never use. Actually, I don't think I've ever used it. This is a miter clamp. And later on, Drew and I, of course, will be filling this up with more and more stuff, both useful and completely useless. So these things slide right in the base, and because they are tubes, they can be carried around to the work that you do. The whole thing is adjustable. As you see it here, it's pretty massive because we made it. This will actually hold about 80% of the clamping stuff that we have around the Academy. In your own home workshop, you may not need something that is quite so massive. This takes up about 5 square feet on the shop floor. You could easily shrink the box down to accommodate your own clamps. You can make the rack narrower. You can eliminate one or more of the shelves here for the hand screws and go from from 2 totes to 1 if you want to make this smaller. It's just a box, folks. You can play with the plans that I have put there for you on the blackboard any way you want. It's easy to make. Nothing more than butt joints, a few rabbets and dados to put it together. The most sophisticated joint is the lap joint that we use to build the grid, and even this is pretty simple. What I did is I took a section of a 2x4 and I planed it down to 1 inch. Then I cut 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch rabbets in the 2x4, sliced off sections, and use those sections to make the grid. A little bit of just some accurate dados and accurate ripping, and presto changeo, you've got a lattice work.